ready for the second race of the Hoosier Formula Cup, with the cars all lined up and ready to get underway for their formation lap. The 1 minute board has been shown. The engineers are off the grid and everyone is getting ready, with the 15-second board being shown to these drivers to go for 20 minutes of racing around Mugello. So formation lap is underway. It is Nano Lopez, the winner of race 1, on pole position. Hugh Barter alongside him in second. Dylan Estra will start in third alongside. Aaron Ferrazzano in fourth. Solian Amrouche in fifth. Laurent Vutic will line up sixth. Walter Rijkaard in seventh. Alain Boucher in eighth. Frederic Boileau in ninth. And Thierry Malholm will round up the top 10. Craig McClatchy will be 11th, Gilles de Pierre 12th, and at the back, after picking up a penalty from last round in Paul Ricard, will be Matteo Valente. So not the usual place we are seeing Matteo Valente after joining us in Paul Ricard for the first time. Joins us again this time round, and we'll have his work cut out for him for these 20 minutes rather, around the Mugello circuit. So thank you so much for joining us. If you've been joining us all day for the Kennel GT Endurance or the Endurance Prototype yesterday, my name is Claire Cottingham. In the pit lane we've had Chaz Draycott as well as in the commentary box, and he will be in the pit lane for the interviews after this one as well, and getting the answers, for the lack of a better word, from the reactions is what I was looking for. There it is. It came to me 10 seconds too late, of the drivers after this race is over. And we did have quite a cracking first race, actually. It was Nano Lopez who took his first win of the season and managed to pick out a 9-second lead from Dylan Estra, who finished in second after jumping Hugh Barter off the line at the start. So it'll be interesting to see here if Hugh Barter can hold on to second place and pick up some more points in this second race. We do have the third race, which is our final race of the weekend after the Ultimate Sprint Cup as well after this race. So make sure you stay with us. Podium just happening in the background for the GT Endurance, the Kennel Cup that we just had. But for now, all eyes will be on these 13 drivers as they line up ready for race 2 of the Hoosier Formula Cup. Final cars just then slotting into position at the back, with Matteo Valente as the final car number 59. There is car number 23, which is Dylan Estra, who starts third, and just behind that is Solian Amrouche, starting in a good performance. But the revs are starting, the green flag is going, and the lights are off. So we are underway, and that was a big crash off the line, because I'm not sure there what happened because we couldn't see, but someone dove into the middle and caught one of the other cars. So at the moment, it's still Nano Lopez leading the way. Side by side is Dylan Estra and Hugh Barter, but there'll be yellow flags probably on the start-finish straight, but won't bother these two, as it looks like one of them is trying to fight Nano Lopez for the lead. So here we are then, going into turn 2 and 3 is Dylan Estra, I believe, trying to get past. Dylan Estra just behind Nano Lopez, my apologies, in second. Safety car is out because of that crash off the line. I could not see who it was because we have quite a dip as you go off the line. But the safety car has obviously been called out just to clear maybe what happened off the start-finish straight. I'd have to look again and see who exactly it was. But Nano Lopez can breathe a sigh of relief as he was under pressure from Hugh Barter and Dylan Estra heading into the first few corners of this race. Safety car is out then with 19 minutes left on the clock. And at the moment, we will probably see these cars go through the pit lane if there is still action happening on the start-finish straight. So they will come through, and safety car will go through the pit lane. And this is the start, and I think that must be, it's either Frederick Boileau or Craig McClatchy, and he comes across, and it looks like he maybe has contact with Alain Boucher. It's such an awkward way to see exactly what it is, but let me have a look, see who hasn't crossed the line. Oh, it's Solin Amrouche and Laurent Vutic, actually, but I didn't remember seeing a red car or an orange car in that clash. So Craig McClatchy also not showing, so that would make sense that Craig McClatchy would have come across, and it would have been Thierry Malholm or Alain Boucher that he went into, but Solin Amrouche and Laurent Vutic also showing not to be in the pack, and I can see with my eyes that they are not in the pack either. So it looks like it was those three drivers that have had this first lap incident. And it looks as well, if I look out the window, we've got a few spots of rain now happening. And we will head down to the pit lane to see exactly what's happening at the moment, because we can't see the start-finish straight from where I'm sitting. So hopefully we can get an update. The start is under investigation, which is hardly surprising, just because so through the pit lane then comes the safety car. And on the start-finish straight is where the incident happened, which seems to be between Craig McClatchy and Laurent Vutic. But tricky to see the exact positioning, but I can be pretty sure that it was Craig McClatchy that made the sudden move into the middle off the line, and potentially could have been a jump start. But again, difficult to see from the angle that we have that camera on, and the slight dip in the pit lane, in the start-finish straight rather. So a few drops of rain out there, starting to cause maybe a few issues here. This is Solin Amrouche then coming through the pit lane, and heads back out on track, and she will rejoin at the back of the grid. So now it's just Laurent Vutic and Craig McClatchy that are the two that are missing from this setup. The car's starting to weave a little bit to get those, keep the heat in their tyres. So hearing Craig McClatchy is in the pit lane and got no front left anymore. Left rear got clipped rather, and that would have been from, I guess it would have been from Laurent Vutic, but the rear makes no sense because he was in front of, right. I'm not going to speculate because I'm not entirely sure how that would have worked, but what I can say, it was Craig McClatchy was part of it, and in some way clipped his rear. So safety car still remains out on track at the moment, and eating into the 20 minutes we have of racing here. Safety car lights are still on, so it would mean that the car is staying out for this lap. And you can see the wind is really getting into this this camera, and it's shaking it like nobody's business. Big headwind I'm hearing from Chaz on the pit lane, and I know I've just been down there. It is quite windy at the moment, but I feel like whatever this cloud of rain that's coming in across the hills is also bringing a little bit of wind as well. So will we see a bit more rain? That is the question. I can see Craig McClatchy's ident is still in the pit lane. Well, it looks like we've cleared whatever was happening on the start-finish straight, because we are no longer going through the pit lane anymore. The installation lap under investigation 2. So we can have confirmation from Chaz that Laurent Vutic was the other person in that crash. And that sounds like the front right, and that would make sense because if Craig McClatchy came across, Laurent Vutic came out, so Craig McClatchy starting on the right side of the grid, Laurent Vutic starting in 6th on the other side of the grid, Craig coming across and tapping the rear, front rather of Laurent Vutic and clipping his rear, and that would be what we saw. So safety car is going to end with this lap, at the end of this lap. So safety car will come in and we will go racing again. It'll be Nano Lopez leading the way from Hugh Barter, Dylan Estra, Matteo Valente, who I think started at the back of the grid, but it's saying only gone up 4, so not entirely sure by that one. Maybe my starting grid was wrong because Matteo Valente now started up in 4th, Walter Rijkaard in 5th, Frederic Boileau will start in 6th, Alain Boucher in 7th, Jules de Pierre. It might take a couple of moments for the safety car to work out where everyone is, but it looks like Matteo Valente has got himself up to 4th. Alain Boucher in 7th, Jules de Pierre in 8th, Thierry Malholm in 9th, and Solène Amrouche in 10th. Looks like Aaron Ferrazzano has gone into the pit lane, but is back out now, so I don't know if he was caught up in some of the issue in car number 58. He started 4th on the grid, so would be a shame if he's had an issue, and clearly he has because he's dropped behind Solène Amrouche. Anyway, racing will continue then in the Hoosier Formula Cup Race 2 after a brief period of a safety car, and it will be Nano Lopez leading these cars round. We've only got 11 cars left out on the track, and he will bunch them up before getting racing back underway. And you can see the wind is really out there at the moment on that camera. Green flag is back underway, and we are racing then in Mugello, and Nano Lopez taking us through the start-finish straight. Green flag flapping there, and it will be Nano Lopez leading the way still. Side by side, though, is Hugh Barter and Dylan Estra as they whiz past the commentary box, heading into turn 1. And at this point, it is still Nano Lopez leading the way. Hugh Barter 3 wide going into the first corner. That is wild. Nano Lopez is the one that could win out, but is he under pressure there from, it looked like, Hugh Barter? But at this point, Hugh Barter goes wide and isn't able to take the lead, and Nano Lopez slots back in. That is incredible from Nano Lopez, who all but lost the win there. A big lunge from Dylan Estra there to try and go up the inside of Hugh Barter, and Hugh Barter closes the door on him. And all of this has allowed Matteo Valente to make the battle for second between the three of them. Impressive stuff by these drivers, and all keeping it clean. You can see the calibre of racing drivers we've got with these rookies, which is really impressive. Of course, Solène Amrouche there having a battle down the back for 11th and 10th. Looks like Aaron Ferranzo has got round Solène Amrouche. But Nano Lopez now pulling away from Hugh Barter. So impressive work from Hugh Barter and Dylan Estra there to battle it out for the win, basically. And 4 wide into turn 1 was something I don't think I've seen in these cars before. It was really impressive work. So Craig McClatchy, unsurprisingly at this point, is under investigation. Just regardless, they'll have to take a look at exactly what was going on there. Solène Amrouche then under pressure from, I'm not entirely sure actually. Solène Amrouche is under pressure from somebody, but I couldn't quite see who. Well, that makes more sense because Solène Amrouche was showing on the timing that she was down in 10th, but it would be Frederic Boileau she was under pressure from. So timing screen is doing something a little bit funny today. I don't know what's quite happening with them, but they keep telling us that people are in different places. But what I can tell you is Nano Lopez is leading the way from Hugh Barter with Dylan Estra in 3rd at the moment. And here's Walter Rijkaard coming under pressure then from Aaron Ferrazzano, putting pressure rather on Matteo Valente. See where Walter Rijkaard is currently at the moment in second place, and yeah, under pressure. I believe that's 58, but the 5 is coming off. That's what was confusing me there. So yeah, Aaron Ferrazzano under pressure, putting pressure on Walter Rijkaard, but the 5 is slightly coming off the car, so I couldn't quite tell who the driver was, and he manages to do it there into the right-hander of for Winfield Racing. All bit of a slide there for Aaron Ferrazzano, but manages to get round Walter Rijkaard, who's now going to come under pressure from Solian and Rouge. And that's been a chaotic 10 minutes, I'm not going to lie, of racing there. When your timing screen says something different from what you see on with your eyes, it can kind of throw you off a little bit. So apologies on that one, but it is Walter Rijkaard that has been taken over from Aaron Ferrazzano. And the one that we will be looking at now is Nano Lopez coming across the line from Hugh Barter and Dylan Estra just behind. And Hugh Barter managing to keep place of second place this time round, but not able to fight. And a bit of a lock up there from Dylan Estra, who's pushing into turn 1. And round he goes into the kink at turns 2 and 3. But yeah. I wonder if the rain, and it looks like the rain on my window behind me has stopped now, but I think the track should be pretty dry and these tyres should be struggling. Car number 22 then, which is Hugh Barter, just kicking up a bit of the gravel as he comes through, but manages to keep all 4 wheels on the track. I feel like this race has gone incredibly quickly because we had quite a long safety car period. So there's only 6 minutes left now. Nano Lopez pulling away from Hugh Barter, not quite as impressively as he did in race 1, where he picked up a 9-second lead. And in this one, no further action on the installation lap investigation. But yeah, he's only managed to pull out 1.4 from Hugh Barter, so Hugh Barter able to keep him at bay at the moment, but not get him close enough to overtake. Keeping him always in his sights, but Nano Lopez setting blistering times out there of a 1:46.5. That's nearly a full second faster than Hugh Barter, and actually he's managed to pull out a 2.2 lead now from Hugh Barter. Dylan Estra second behind as well, with Matteo Valente in 4th. Aaron Ferrazzano in 5th, and Solian Amrouche 6th. Walter Rijkaard 7th. Frederic Boileau then in 8th, and here it looks like Gilles de Pierre is under pressure from Thierry Malhomme. 2 gentlemen drivers, been racing together for a couple of years now. Walter Rijkaard currently leading the championship, leading the way for the gentlemen in this race, rather, despite being overtaken by Solian Amrouche and Aaron Ferrazzano. Walter Rijkaard, of course, who's been with us for last season as well. His best of 2 fourths in Hockenheim. And this is Alain Boucher, who is currently chasing down Frederic Boileau. 2 names that we know as well pretty well. Frederic Boileau in the gentleman, age 54, finished 2nd in the 13 inches last year. Runner-up from Enzo Richer. Did a whole 2024 season, best finish of 3rd in Hockenheim. Race 3 in Mugello. Race 1 and 2nd places as well in Paul Ricard. He's been racing for about 8 years. But this is Nano Lopez, who last time out picked up a win. For TS Corsa, and it's great to see him continuing on with his great performances. And just having a look at how he did last year. It's the end of last year. He got 2 third places and a retirement, but he only did one race with us last year in the Hoosier Formula Cup, and came in pretty impressively with 2 podiums. So you can't be unhappy with that one, can you? And then this season coming in with a win again. It's not bad work at all. And now picking up his first win in the Formula Cup as well. This then is Frederick Boileau, our runner-up last year, now setting a bit of space between him and Alain Boucher. So someone's been given the hurry up on the radio, saying actually Alain Boucher is closing in that time behind, so wanted nothing to do with that. 2 minutes left on the clock. Let's see where the leaders are. They're on the start-finish straight, just coming past the pit lane now, which will probably mean that we have 2 laps left. This will be, we're lapping about 1 minute 46, and we've got 1 minute 57 on the clock, and he's just passed the start-finish straight. So I think this should be the penultimate lap of the race, and that has gone incredibly quickly. Nano Lopez now got a 4-second lead from Hugh Barter in second place, and another 2 seconds between them and Dylan Estra. Ooh, bit of a slide then from Dylan Estra, pushing hard on the final few laps. He'll be frustrated not to be picking up another second place like he did in race 1. Aaron Ferrazana then down in 5th, and Matteo Valente in 4th. This then is Gilles de Pierre once again, and he set his eyes on Thierry Malhomme, who has, I think, managed to get past Gilles de Pierre, because it was the other way around recently. Team number 10, team manager and reporter drives stewards after the race with onboard camera. So that would be Craig McClatchy will be told to come on and show what happened at the start with a video, and basically show his working out. So it'll be interesting to see what exactly went on there, but it's nice to know that both drivers that were involved in that shunt are okay. Craig McClatchy seems to have quite bad luck when it comes to this. Coming around the final corner then is Nano Lopez in this windy condition to start the final lap of the race, and speeds past the pit lane and past our commentary box and thunders into turn 1 under absolutely no pressure at all, you have to say. I mean, he is once again another commanding race from Nano Lopez, and the gaps between the top 3 are way bigger than I think I've ever seen in Formula Cup. This is not our usual racing style. Usually they are pretty close with their racing, and it comes down to the wire. So Nano Lopez just showing the caliber of driver he is. That then is Hugh Barter, who it's been great to see for Winfield Racing, a former Formula 3 driver, raced for Campos Racing in 2023, and now joining us on the Ultimate Cup Championship. And it's great to see so many rookies coming in and being so far consistent in their racing. And this then will extend, I believe, Nano Lopez's, he hasn't got the lead of the championship at the moment. Hugh Barter's still got that, but Nano Lopez could look to take the lead of the championship this weekend if he wins all races. So final lap then for the Hoosier Formula Cup. Nano Lopez has had a brilliant race, and you can see again, once again, how windy it is there in the final corner of the race track. But Another win from Nano Lopez. He takes the checkered flag. He makes it 2 out of 2. Pole position to a win again. The speedy Argentinian does it again. He takes the win here in Mugello for the Hoosier Formula Cup. Race 2. Crossing the line, Hugh Barter, Dylan Estra in 3rd. Matteo Valente crosses the line in 4th. Aaron Ferrazzano in 5th. Solian Amrouche 6th. And Walter Reichardt will cross the line in 7th. And then Frederic Boileau down in 8th. Alain Boucher 9th. And rounding up the top 10, Thierry Malholm with Gilles de Pierre. The final runner, because Lauren Vutic and Craig McClatchy did not start the race. Brilliant performance then from, once again, Nano Lopez. 10 laps in the end, a couple under the safety car. But it'll be Nano Lopez then in the front spot, the #1 position as he enters the pit lane. And hopefully we can head down shortly and hear from him. But it will be an impressive performance once again from TS Corsa. They'll be pleased with their winning driver in Nano Lopez. He was very happy earlier when I spoke to him, and he said he really wanted to get all the wins this weekend so he could try and take the lead of the championship. So here we are then, Hoosier Formula Cup. Winner goes to Nano Lopez. 2nd is Hugh Barter. 3rd, Dylan Estra. Matteo Valente in 4th. Aaron Ferrazzano in 5th. Solian Amrouche 6th. Walter Reichardt in 7th. 8th was Frederic Boileau. 9th, Alain Boucher. Thierry Malholm in 10th. And Gilles de Pierre rounding up the top 11. So there we go then. Nano Lopez looking pretty happy with that one. And you have to say, well, you can see why, because he won with a 5.4 lead. Not as big as his lead in the first race, but I think he'll be pretty happy with that one. I know that when I spoke to him after the race, a 9-second lead was what he needed because he had a penalty from the first race. And this one, no penalty, but still managed to pick up a 5.4 lead. Let's head down, though, and hear from Nano Lopez. He's alongside Chaz.
So, Nano, a fantastic, fantastic performance of that race. A big gap at the front. He must have been really pleased with how that ended up because you just drove away again.
Yeah, the start was a bit, well, the restart with the safety car was a bit tricky, but yeah, we got the lead out of the turn 3. And then it was, yeah, getting the gap bigger and bigger. So yeah, obviously really happy. The car was amazing. So yeah, thanks to the team, and yeah, really happy.
Good stuff. Now, in cars like this, we've got a very strong headwind coming down the start-finish straight. Do you feel that quite a lot from the cockpit?
At the restart, it felt like it because they got really close to me and they almost overtook me. So yeah, I think it was a big thing in the race.
And there was a threat of rain near the start as well, a few drops on the visor, I imagine. Did that get you a little bit nervous?
Not nervous because the last race we drove with rain, but my only race, I won it. So yeah, I think I was not really nervous about it. So yeah, but when I saw the tears in the visor, I was like, damn, it can rain. So yeah.
Well, one more race left to go here this weekend. You must be confident for that now, going for the trio?
Yeah, obviously I want to win the 3 races, and I think we could get the top of the championship with that race. So yeah, let's try and seal the weekend the best as possible. Yeah.
Fantastic stuff. Well, very well done.
Thank you.
Nano Lopez taking a very, very convincing victory here in race number 2 at Mugello, and with Barter in 2nd position, Estra in 3rd. It's certainly going to be interesting to see how things transpire in the 3rd race of the weekend. We'll head back down now to the highlights, and we'll be back very soon with the GT Sprint Cup.
We got it.